Game number one, let's go.
Explosive game. I think that last drop took all of us off guard. No pun intended, Vanguard right there. And even you hear it leaking into the mics of you guys, right? Literally, people are already screaming at the Harif because I've never seen deck play Harif. This is a totally midlife crisis that's happening for deck. A jungler turned a gold laner, and now not only just any gold laner, any traditional marksman, he's fielding this Harif.
What I'm looking at right now is Bleed getting that early level 2, getting the mage, getting the EXP lane, going up and clearing that wave, getting that level 2 really, really quickly. But let's take a moment, look at all the emblems right now. You have lethal ignition for the Valentina, so that's going to hurt a lot in the early game. So a lot of early game damage focus for the side of Homeboys. But for Bleed, it's a lot of defense, defense, defense. You have two tenacities all around. You have a little bit more sustain coming with the Impure Rage. But hold on a second right here.
JPL, a little bit too deep. KelVJ also saying the king of the jungle is trying who is boss. Here's the spin as well. He has to get away. He's a little bit low. Hex, Drew, First Blood, slaying the king from Bleed.
And it's really unfortunate based on the fact that Bleed is the one that wanted to whack on straight at them. But it's really unfortunate, I gotta have to say. KelVJ, especially being the jungler here, he's now not able to catch up in terms of EXP versus the Lancelot. Right now, Homeboys already have got the advantage in the early stages of the game. They gotta have to really watch out for what is possible coming in from the Lancelot.
Okay, Jock's using the ultimate already, so which means that there's no ultimate retribution that you can do. That's the strength of the Lancelot. Maybe this is something that Bleed can play around.
You have a heavy lane on the top side, so Bleed, Homeboys, they're all gravitating towards that top side, leaving that bottom side just a loose lane, just letting them do that 1v1 battle. But Homeboys taking advantage of that early game lead, early game kill. Oh, KelVJ!
Again! Oh no, this is not what we expected now. Sagitnu has to really tank this one. He's a thick boy. Terizla, mind you, he's also outputting FMM, also in the right place at the right time. The Void Crystal slowing down, not enough damage to deal with Fear No Cure. Homeboys take the first turtle. This is a big problem over the side to Bleed.
This is a really huge problem. The fact that the fact that KelVJ is down twice, but in the meantime, talking about Sagitnu.
Nowhere for Sagitnu to run. 3-man jumps onto him. Homeboys right here taking the early game dominance.
This is not looking very good for Bleed. Having a very, very early game aggressive lineup, you need to secure those kills. You need to be able to snowball your way through. KelVJ playing on that Martis, you know that Martis is a very, very hard fall-off hero.
Yes.
If you don't get that early game kills, you don't get the early game pressure on the opponent's side of the map, being level 5 already, basically that Martis should be able to live in Homeboys' jungle. But this is not the case.
Yeah, because the thing is, Martis is like an in-your-face hero, right? You want to be tanky enough, you want to still deal damage enough as a Martis, but the fact that early game you just don't have the advantage is really sad.
Topside, Winner Cure. Bravest Warrior already committed right here, dealing a lot of damage over to KelVJ. KelVJ and Sagitnu are going back to basics, right? Both these two teams were for Smart Omega, Neos, if I'm not mistaken, at the same time. But now, Bleed is taking a back seat as Homeboys right here. They're playing like an absolute unit. These are Indonesian players. They're not even not as experienced as compared to KelVJ and Sagitnu, and they're actually throwing Bleed around.
And you already get building up that Demon Hunter sword. But hold on a second, KelVJ in the spot.
A little bit low. That's also going to be a knockup on Super Jogs, bouncing ball for JPL to walk away. No issues for now. Homeboys doesn't really need to basically, press any panic button.
The Homeboys playing on the next level. They know that they countered KelVJ in the early game. So what that leaves is the EXP lane and the jungle struggling to get a foothold on the rest of the game. So in the early game, they struggle. You have a lot of pressure in the gold lane, which is where deck needs to thrive. You have that Harif, you have the Claude, who's already doing that early game lane swap. You're gonna get that double item power spike. So Enya's just collecting the Infinity Stones as of right now.
And not only just that, Fear No Cure, that's a 4-man stun. Just smacking Bleed like no tomorrow. KelVJ nowhere near the jungle turtle as well. Fear No Cure now will have to exit. Real 1 manipulation by FMM will be able to slow down. Also pick up the kill. That goes into Summon Force. Up in the damage. Derry burns the flicker as well. JPL bouncing ball around. 1 man down, but it's still Homeboys taking the turtle.
So it doesn't seem like Homeboys exactly lost everything at all. In fact, they're looking at different value trading. We were hoping to see that the Cloud will be able to effectively bring down the first tier defense turret in the top lane, but it doesn't seem like they were able to do that. So for now, it's a bit of like unrealized losses for the side of Homeboys from that previous team fight. But at least they do have some insurance by getting 2 kills down onto Kill VJ.
Very, very smart. Clock goes up. They force that fight in that purple and on the purple buff, forcing Deck to go over and help out. This gives a lot of space and time for Enya to just farm up. Take a look at the players' gold. Enya being at the top of the chart. Burner Cure definitely going up because he is one of those players that is constantly proxying the waves and going in for the early game invades.
So at least when it comes down to Virnokyo getting himself the top gold farm, that is actually a little bit of a surprise to me, right? Because I know that Lapu definitely has got a lot better trades than a Terizla. You are a lot less comical. You can just throw your swords and you will be able to get the farm and you poke the opponents at the same time. But to actually be able to top the charts when it comes down to farm is unimaginable to me. They just pretty much sets the kind of pace that Homeboys has.
Oh, the timing coming out from the Super Jocks is really good. We'll be able to shove FMM away. JPL needs to jump. And there's a knockup coming from Derry. Enya cracks open topside turret.
Disciplined plays so far from the side of Homeboys.
Actually, Lapu, this Burner Cure on the Lapu on the EXP lane, what he did right now was very top tier micro play. He cleared the wave, he knew he was going to take some damage, and then he immediately rotated up because he is up ahead in terms of levels, in terms of economy from Sagitnu. Knowing that you have that trade, you have a little bit more pressure from the EXP lane, and that's correct. You as an EXP laner, you need to be that loose man, but as that loose man, you have to be one of the members within every single one of the team fights. You are one of the soapers anyways.
Yeah, EXP laner is one of the hardest role, I gotta have to say, when it comes down to macro gaming, right? Because you really gotta have to understand when is the right time to actually stick to your lane, split push, or to go for trades whatsoever. But speaking of the Lapu having a tough time, or rather Lapu being a tough hero and a role to play, you can pretty much see that he's trying to start things out, and he knows that because he has the gold lead, he can be the one that initiates and let Dairy comes in for a follow-up afterwards.
7 minutes on the clock. You see the tipping win conditions for Homeboys. They're coming into play. You see protect the I want to say protect the president. The defensive strat, the protect strat going in with the mid trio, and then Jocks going off on the loose side or the off lane, just trying to get that split push. Slowly building up his items. Warak's already built up. Valentina getting the enchanted talisman to just poke. You don't have to kill anyone. You just want to poke as much as you can and deny them their farm that they so desperately need.
There's Turda, FMM, one manipulation packs, there's a jump, JPL! That's the ultimate just to defend! Sagitnu follows up the fight at the same time. Bruno Kerr looking at the flank, will be able to fight FMM Victus! Massive mechanical play coming up from Bleed just to defend, but they will take down the roamer only from Homeboys.
Excellent defense coming in from the side of Bleed, even though Kill VJ as well as Sagitnu is not doing a very good time at all. They still manage to get a very nice defense thanks to JPL, and the bottom lane first tier defense turret is still up and running. Here's the thing, the first tier defense turret is very important. If they do not keep it up, then Homeboys will eventually be able to get a very steady snowball with the amount of free real estate that they have.
8 minutes into the game, Deck just bought his first power spike item, the Feather of Heaven. It's not looking too good for Deck's farm right now. Homeboys already looking at a lot more items. I think they should have 3 core items, being 3K gold ahead. Right now, Homeboys should be looking at gravitating towards mid side, taking down that mid lane turret. I agree with you, Abstract. Tier 1 turret, very important because you open up a lot of the map, but the mid lane turret is the one that you should be gunning for.
I would say that Homeboys gotta have to look out for the mid stages of the game. They need to get themselves the win in the mid stages because they will be able to get that power spike that they need, that normally in a normal tempo, they get it in the late stages. Yep. But because of the fact that they are ahead, they will be able to get that power spike a little bit earlier than Bleed. And during that small period of time, during that small little golden ratio, they gotta have to end Bleed or perhaps deal so much impact onto Bleed's line in order to get even more lead.
Bruno Cure zoning around, KLBJ as well is getting stuck, Super Dogs working on the Lord instead, and here comes in for a beautiful blazing the wind at the same time, cleans it up, gives Homeboys the opportunity to take down and secure the Lord for themselves.
That is an amazing play coming from the side of Homebois. They caught something and then they continue on with whatever that they need in order to extend the team fight a little bit longer. Zagino and FMM, I believe that they are the one that got caught.
Deck trying to outplay. That's also going to be the Zaman for us. Don't forget, Jox is actually a very tanky Lancelot at the same time. JPL still holding on. I think the charge get cancelled. Gary's spider sense is tinkling right there. Amazing microplays coming up from Homebois as of now.
Did you see what Davey did there? It's like he didn't even know that he accidentally stalked JPL at all.
Yep, he did. I think it was a phenomenal play from Homebois, but they are a little bit too overconfident. Target prioritization comes into play really handy in that mid stage of the game. This is still the first Lord, so they are looking to take down all tier teams, opening up the entire map. So forcing Bleed to go on that defense. So this is where Homebois might break. If they are a little bit too greedy, a little bit too overconfident of their lead, they might lose that 6k gold lead.
On the other hand, we do have Homebois that is just going to go
Homebois, that's a flicker ultimate as well. And also FMN takes it instead. But the damage coming from Homebois is a little bit overwhelming. They all have to walk away, but they're still not down. Jerry is the first one to fall. The aggression coming up home. Homebois paid off in the favor of Bleed.
All the exterior stars are now down, which is exactly what they want coming in from the very first Lord. From this point onwards, Homebois pretty much will have the snowball as long as they are capable of holding down the front lines in the bottom lane or in the bottom jungle or perhaps in the top jungle. They can't allow Bleed to take over, especially since they are up by 3,000 gold. It's more than enough to play a good defensive game on their part while holding on to their own territory.
In this stage of the game, it's all about vision play. It's all about revealing yourself, or not revealing yourself for that matter. You see how Homebois is pathing around. They're not revealing themselves. They want to keep Enya safe because they know in this stage of the game, Enya is the one that's going to peel out so much damage and have Jox to clean the rest of Bleed out.
In most normal situations, you would want to take over the enemy's jungle, hide inside of brushes. However, for Homebois' lineup, things are a little bit different because they do not have a team composition or a hero that is specialized in catch. So they can't make full potential out of the brushes. They can't really burst down one person almost immediately and locking them down for an extended period of time. This is a lot more of a dive as well as a lot more of a team fight comp for Homebois. So whatever it is more about their rotations that would ultimately be the bane of Bleed's lineup.
I agree. I 100% agree with you. Homebois like long extended team fights. That's where Enya shines and that's where Jox shines as well. You see in this late game, Jox doesn't really have a lot of damage. You might think he does, but he kind of doesn't. And what Homebois wants to do is get Gary to throw his body, be the sacrificial lamb or bull that he is, and just get a nice either 3 to 4 man setup, and Homebois just fight front to back all the way through. Bleed, they want to catch things fast. They want to burst anyone down, and Deck really needs to show up in this time in this line.
So it is only about half HP for the Lord, while the rest of the members from the side of Bleed, they're preparing themselves for the eventual death of the Lord to come in for the proper steal. It's all on to kill VJ for the steal, and in the meantime, it is all about the front line for Bleed to do something about this.
Oh, that's going to be FMN using the real world manipulation. Homebois right here running around, trying to catch some pickup right here. Derry distracting Sagino away, blazing the way coming in, but that gets denied by Sagino with the penalties over. Derry still takes the Lord down, securing it for themselves, and now they will look for more. And that's also going to be Deck falling down for the count as well. KVJ, the king, trying to spin. JPL needs to go in and land down with reinforcements. Dogs have 4. Sagino tries to fight at the same time. So for Jogs, Cure, and Pex just hiding, just trading, just sharing the damage coming up on Bleed. And Pex picks up a killing spree. Ladies and gentlemen, this is a Bleed wipeout. Homebois just sweeping the floor with the bodies of Bleed.
Boom! Shakalaka!
Oh, that was such a good play by Homebois. They knew what target they were. You see all 5 members going for one target. Once they took down FMM, once they took down Deck, those were the threats. Once the threats were down, Homebois, they were just cleaning up. They were just cleaning up on aisle 5.
Yeah, they pretty much know who are the main threat, which is exactly what Coach Dale is looking out for.
Pex figures forward. It's a real one manipulation on FMM. He will respond with his own. There's a Ravens Warrior to slow down, but Vienna Crew, he's still unstoppable. There's a Lord, there's also
the throne! The throne!
Trying to buy some time. Bleed! No! Oh, to Homebois SG!
What a turnout! Game number 1 is already so hyped out. Bleed literally
Boys.
bled out.
Boys, the audience might be right.